Hi, Miss Mullins and Zoe here today. We are going to share with you a story called About Space by Jana Carson. I hope you enjoy. Let's take a journey into space, where we will see wondrous sights and make incredible discoveries. What is space? Space is a universe. The universe contains everything. Have you ever looked way up in the sky? It seems to go on forever. Yet what we see in our sky is only a very tiny part of the universe. All of the galaxies, planets, stars, meteors, asteroids, and even space stations are part of the universe. A galaxy is a large system of stars held together in a group by gravity. We live in a galaxy called the Milky Way. We are able to view many of the stars in our galaxy through the use of a telescope. Long ago, people could only look at the stars with their eyes. The stars of the Milky Way looked like a white streak in the sky. Within a galaxy, there may be many solar systems. A solar system is made up of a sun and everything that moves around it. Our solar system exists within the Milky Way galaxy. It includes all the planets and their moons, as well as the comets, asteroids, space objects that orbit or move circles around the sun. There is a sun in the center of every solar system. A sun is really a star. Without our sun, there could be no life in our solar system. The planet we live on is called Earth. Our planets in our solar system are Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Mercury is the closest planet to our sun. The temperature on the planet's surface is hot enough to melt a tin pan. Mercury is a small planet. It is about the size of our moon. It's very, very hot on Mercury. It is too hot for people to live there. Venus and Earth are similar in size. They both have mountains and valleys and plains, but there are no oceans or life of any kind on Venus. Venus is covered with thick clouds. There are always huge thunderstorms in these clouds. Venus is called the evening star. That's because it looks so bright in our night sky. Mars is called the red planet. Space probes were sent to Mars by the United States and other countries to collect information about Martian soil and atmosphere. Through these experiments, it was discovered that dirt on Mars contains lots of iron. The iron is what gives Mars its reddish color. Is there life on Mars? People who study space want to know the answer. They sent space probes to Mars, and the space probes looked but found no life there. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. There are terrific lightning bolts and huge gas storms in Jupiter's atmosphere. A large area of swirling gas called the Great Red Spot is believed to be a hurricane-like storm. Jupiter is very, very big. All of the other planets in our solar system could fit inside of Jupiter. Saturn is a planet that spins rapidly on its axis, just like a spinning top. This rapid spinning causes something amazing to happen. The top and the bottom of the planet flatten out. It's believed that there are over 1,000 rings surrounding Saturn. The rings are actually particles of ice and dust. Saturn has many moons. Some of these moons are very big. Saturn's largest moon is called Titan. Uranus and Neptune have similar atmospheres, composed primarily of hydrogen and helium gases. However, Uranus is unique because of how it's tilted on its axis. It lies almost on its side in relation to the sun. When the sun rises at its north pole, it stays up for 42 Earth years before it sets. Neptune has a set of rings around it. The rings are very hard to see. Neptune might even have a deep ocean. The dark spot on Neptune is a great storm. Pluto was once considered a planet. However, the discoveries of other natural objects in our solar system, just as large as Pluto, have caused astronomers to reconsider what the term planet should mean. After much debate, many astronomers agreed that Pluto and some other large round space objects belonged in a new category, named dwarf planets. Astronomers found a big dwarf planet. It is much bigger than Pluto. There may be lots of other big dwarf planets out in our solar system. Earth is our home planet. It's the third planet from the sun, and is the only planet in our solar system that has flowing water on its surface. About 70% of Earth's surface is covered with water. Mountains, volcanoes, valleys, plains, and deserts cover the remaining 30%. Earth has one moon. Our moon is like a very dry desert. The moon has had visitors. It is the only place in our solar system where humans have gone. In 1969, the Apollo 11 spaceship carried astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin to the moon to explore its surface. Neil Armstrong was the first person to walk on the moon. He left his footprints. There is no air to blow them away. His footprints are still on the moon. Astronauts go through years of specialized training. They must have strong skills in science, math, and technology. The astronauts that go into space must learn how to function in weightless environments and even learn how to do a spacewalk. Sometimes astronauts train underwater. The water helps them know what it might feel like to float in space. Astronauts must have special clothing, food, and equipment to go into space. During launch and re-entry, they wear a special suit that has a helmet, gloves, and boots to protect them from changes in the pressure when they leave and return from space. Once they are in space, they can wear the same kind of clothing they might wear at home. To make it easier to carry food into space, some of the food is freeze-dried, a special process used to remove all of the water from the food. Before astronauts eat their freeze-dried food, they put the water back in it. Just like many kids, astronauts drink from boxes or pouches using straws. With everything floating, drinking from a glass could get very, very messy. Astronauts like to eat many different kinds of food. Some astronauts like to eat hot dogs, some like to eat ice cream and cake. Some astronauts learned how to pilot the space shuttle. The space shuttle is like an airplane, a rocket, and a spaceship all in one. It takes off like a rocket, circles the Earth like a spaceship, and lands like an airplane. Astronauts work and sleep in the space shuttle. Sometimes they sleep in sleeping bags. They are tied to a wall so they won't float away. A special spacesuit is needed when astronauts leave their spaceship while in orbit. The spacesuit is called an EMU. The EMU controls and monitors the astronaut's body temperature and breathing. It has a headphone and a microphone so the astronaut can communicate with the shuttle. Astronauts may also leave the ship wearing a special backpack. This backpack lets them move freely through space. How would you like to live in space? Some astronauts do. There are teams of astronauts that take turns living and working in space stations. Space stations are enormous satellites that orbit the Earth. Space stations are made up of different parts. Astronaut puts these parts together in space. There have been two famous space stations in the past, the United States Skylab and the Russian Mir. The biggest space station ever is the International Space Station. Astronauts from many different places live on this space station. They work together to learn more about space. There is so much exciting information to learn about space. Maybe someday you will be a scientist or an astronomer. Perhaps you will make new discoveries and explore distant galaxies. What if you were an astronaut? Think of all the exciting things you could do. Maybe you could fly to Mars or help build a space station there. The end.